You can be annoyed, scared, confused, whatever you're feeling about it, or you can embrace it, accept it, adopt it, leverage it, and grow from it. What is it? AI. For real. Like almost every conversation, well, I shouldn't say every conversation, maybe it's more like once a day. But seriously, I was thinking about my last week, and for sure there was at least 3 consecutive days where the conversation at some point or another turned into AI. And what's so interesting to me is the attitude that people have about AI. Now, like I said, when I opened, you can worry and be fearful or be annoyed or be confused and, kind of like head in the sand about it. Or you can be curious and wonder and experiment and engage and play and ultimately learn and grow as a result of AI. And it's all about you and your attitude, right? So let me take you back to last week and the people that I interacted with. So one person comes to mind, a realtor who I coach, who had attended a class all about AI, specifically ChatGPT, and they were shown how they could use it in their day-to-day to make things easier and have things flow, being a little bit more creative, more responsive to customers, that sort of thing. They were so stoked, like mind blown, so excited about it, right? And then I had dinner with a girlfriend who I haven't talked with in a little while. We're both, busy women, and we carved out some time and sat down together. She owns a business in like pet care and services, right? And somewhere in the conversation, I don't know, somebody said ChatGPT, and she's like, "What's that?" And so we got to talking about it, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, I can totally use this here, there, and there." And she was so thankful and so excited. But what's interesting is fast forward and we went to, my guy and I, we went to the home improvement store, and we were getting paint because we're working on a project. And the guy's computer, which is clearly outdated, was giving him he was having some trouble, right? And that's frustrating, of course. But what I just couldn't help but notice was like his attitude. And he like rolls his eyes and he's like, AI can just fix it, can it? And I was like, oh, geez. We got our paint and went along our way. And obviously AI cannot fix his computer. Hello, management, do a guy a favor and help him out. He needs a new computer, But like I said, what I just couldn't help but notice is his attitude, right? Where I had these very stark contrasts in attitude around wow, I'm so stoked and excited to rah, 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 AI, And so I started paying attention, and I'm sort of noticing there's a couple different camps, one being annoyed, fearful, what's going on over here? I don't know about all this. It's going to take all the jobs kind of thing. And then this excitement. And so I'm here to give you my 2 cents, my take on it. Hey, hi, I'm Heather Patterson, and I'm a lot of things, and including an AI adopter, and a coach and a teacher and creator here on YouTube. And first of all, hit the subscribe button so that those little AI bots can notify you every time I have a new video. That's about once a week. And also so that we can chat and hang out, because I'm here to help you. And I talk about things like life and leadership and love and closing the gap between where you currently are and where you want to be in those areas. I'm so glad that you're here. So like I said, I'm noticing these kind of 2 different camps out there, and I'm also noticing a lot of conversation as it relates to AI. So, as a producer of a weekly video, I figure I can just come in here and add my 2 cents. So I'm so glad that you're interested in my 2 cents. So let's get into it, shall we? Now, throughout this video, I'll say when you hear me saying AI, I am specifically referring to ChatGPT or some of these open source AI programs. There are other tools that are AI related that I use and I will mention later, but specifically I am talking about ChatGPT. So one of the first things that I absolutely love and think that you will too, as it relates to ChatGPT and AI, is the power of curation. Now, I personally believe that I am a curator. I mean, look behind me. This is my backdrop for a reason. It is all these books, let alone if you were to scroll on my phone, you'd see podcasts and saved videos and this and that and the other, right? I am a collector of information, and being able to sort through and distill is a skill of mine for sure. Yet there is no Google search that is faster, right? Than going to a ChatGPT and saying something to the effect of, say you did want to learn about personal growth. You might say, hey, ChatGPT, provide me a list of the top 10 books regarding personal growth. And it will create a list for you. Now, personal growth is a pretty big category. So maybe I narrow it further and I say, hey, ChatGPT, help me be a better storyteller for marketing and sales in my business. Give me the top books on that, or give me the names of the top 10 influencers in that space. And then you can go and follow them, that sort of thing. Maybe, and I did this before I started filming, so I can even do some screen shares, provided I can figure that out. I'm sure I could ask ChatGPT how. I want to create financial independence. Provide me the top 10 documentaries available on Netflix regarding creating financial independence. That sort of thing. Maybe it is about parenting and raising teenagers. That's something that I'm dealing with now. Whoa, brand new to that whole space, right? So, hey, ChatGPT, provide me with a list of the top 10 books on raising teenage boys. That sort of thing. So the curation power that ChatGPT has, it is mind-blowing, and you can be as broad, like personal growth, or as narrow and specific as you want to in all the different categories of your life. I just mentioned things like business and sales and marketing. I mentioned parenting, money. When I was playing with it, I did books on spirituality, and then I said, spirituality that are Christian in nature, spirituality that are Jewish in nature. So if there's a specific even practice or religion that you are looking towards, you can narrow it by there. Now, where they get the top 10 from, I am not exactly sure. So there is an aspect of you're letting the computer do the rating and ranking for you. Just know that, but at least it's a starting place. With that starting place, it brings me to my next point. A starting place. ChatGPT and these AI tools are super, super effective. I know firsthand as it relates to getting started and getting some momentum. So for my video production, sometimes I'm having a hard time getting started, and I'm I just gotta I need some gasoline to my creative efforts today. So I'll go in there and say, give me a few points, or what are some of the top questions people ask about blah, and it will support me. And then I'm oh yeah, that's the one I want to tackle. Let's go. And then I start writing, right? Or I could take that one piece and say, write me a 1,000 words. That's a lot. Write me 10 sentences on the pros and cons of this concept or idea or thought or, right? That sort of thing. And it'll go. And you might be thinking, oh my God, that's cheating. I can't believe that she does that. Well, before you do the judging here, okay? What is available. Copy paste is available. That's certainly not part of my creative process. When I go to ChatGPT and do something like that, it's to get the creative juices flowing. So I might grab it and then I'm like, well, it usually doesn't sound like me because I sound like me, right? And so I will go and then begin to tease out the ideas and think about my life, my scenarios, my individual and independent thoughts on that and craft the script and begin to go from there. And like I said, it's just like that little juice, that little like nudge, that little, what am I trying to say? Like little spark of gasoline that's already going in my fire, right? My creative fire. So momentum is huge as it relates to using AI. Another way, and I guess it's related to leverage, another way, and it's similar to momentum, although I'm going to put it into a separate category called leverage. So say, for example, this video, for example, I wrote a script. I'm inherently deviating from the script. It's just what I do. It's part of my creative process. Yet, what I will need what I'd like to have are things like a description, a few social media posts that stand alone. And what I'll do is I will take the script that I wrote, drop it into ChatGPT as a copy paste and say, please provide a 5-sentence summary of this. And it will. And I'll say, thank you very much. It's good to have your manners when you use these things, I believe. Thank you very much. And then I'll ask it, can you please provide 2 to 3 standalone quotes from this script that I can use in social media? And it will parse them out. And it's just so useful in helping me be more efficient. I've already written the script. I'm delivering the, content, recording, Like this is just one less thing that I have to think really hard about. That's the power of leveraging the tools, the AI tools. Now, another area that I love using and encourage you to use AI is for things like, I'm going to call it memory, but it's not your memory, right? You're using a tool to supplement for and compensate for your memory. I think it's fair to say that we have a lot of information coming at us and that we're trying to store, right? Gone are the days that we are even interested or worried or concerned about remembering phone numbers. Like, do you remember that? When I was in high school, I knew like all my friends' phone numbers. I probably still know my friends' original landline phone numbers, but I barely know my significant other's phone number by memory, let alone like my parents and my besties and all that, right? It's just not something that like we have a lot of space for. So can you use AI to help you remember things? This is not on things like, not ChatGPT, for example, but tools like Alexa or Google or Siri or whatever your favorite little assistant in your smart devices are. Having them help you make. Oh, see her? She thought I was talking. No, thank you.
Okay.
Okay. On having them help you. So for example, I asked this one, I asked her to give me the weather every morning when my alarm goes off. So she acts as my alarm and then she provides me with the weather. And I like that because it prevents me from picking up my phone and going right into my phone first thing in the morning. She wakes me up and she gives me the weather. I know kind of what's what in terms of what I want to wear, what's it going to be like today. What I love about AI is that it begins to understand you, who you are, where you go, what you like, what your habits are. And so like if for me, I'm an Apple user, I'll be in my phone and it'll be like, send a text to Michael. I'm like, well, that's really brilliant. You're right. I do need to make sure he knows I love him, that sort of thing. Or it might say, I'll jump into my car and it'll say it's this many minutes to your office. And I'm like, oh, wow, like it totally knows. And I think that's really brilliant so that I can stay on track, stay on pace, remember the important things. There are other tools, like a tool that I use that's more of a CRM tool that has some AI integrated into it, and it's linking with my email and all of that and going, oh, it's been a little while since you've talked to so-and-so. You should reach out, and I have the ability to say yes or no. So it doesn't do it for me, but it is thinking on my behalf, because we just got a lot of other thinking that we're doing. And so it's really, really helpful. This next one is like not exactly AI, though. There are components of it that have AI that I absolutely love. And I just think it's worth mentioning here because it's been a game changer for me and lifestyle time savings, frustration savings, that sort of thing. And that is a tools like Instacart, Amazon Fresh. For me, I shop at a place called Fry's, which might be Safeway where you live, something like that. They're shopping apps. Like, they're so smart. They know what I buy every single time because of like the rewards cards, and everything gets logged, and then I can like make my order and have it wait for me or ask somebody to deliver for me. And of course that costs a little money and that sort of thing. Yet, can I be talking to a client instead of grocery shopping? Yeah. Can I be doing laundry instead of grocery shopping? Yeah. Can I like also benefit from not having all those unhealthy impulse buying things like not in my face? Absolutely. Like, I stay on budget, I stay on task, I stay, and I continue to move through my day or days, and I'm able to be more productive. Like, I love it. Yet there was a time where I was not open to using those things. I'm like, oh my God, really? Like, you need an app to do your grocery shopping? Like, yes, me. I was judgy about it before, and have, honestly, I think it was the pandemic that really I was like, well, like, do I want to go to the grocery store? I mean, like, maybe I'll see like what the hype is all about. And it was awesome. All right. So on that note, I want to leave you with a very, very powerful quote that I keep close to my mind and heart when I am confronted with new ways of thinking or a change that's going to kind of disrupt and ruffle my world, my life, my thinking. And this is from a man, Eric Hoffer, an American philosopher. What he says is that, and I want to read it to you, okay? He says that in a world of change, the learners shall inherit the earth, while the learned shall find themselves perfectly suited for a world that no longer exists. What does he mean by that? Well, he says, I'll repeat it and break it down. It says, in a world of change, which that is the world. We are in a world of change. And this area in particular, he says, the learners, those that are willing to learn, those that are willing to grow, those that are willing to go out and explore and experiment and adopt these new tools, right? The learners shall inherit the earth, meaning we will have the rewards, the fruits of what's happening around us, shall inherit the earth, while the learned, the people going, I already know, my life's good enough, screw that new thing, F that, no thanks, da-da-da, right? Whatever attitude is taken. While the learned shall find themselves perfectly suited for a world that no longer exists. Right? They're just going to be sitting there all like know-it-all alone, right? Maybe with each other, but that sounds pretty miserable. Can you imagine being in a room with only ever people like that? No thanks. So I encourage you, when it comes to AI, whether we're talking about ChatGPT or I mentioned that I was going to mention some other tools. Okay, those tools really fast. Some of the other tools may seem like a little basic, but it's like, these are AI, guys, and can really help you. are tools like, well, there's one with respect to writing that I absolutely love, too. Grammarly and Hemingway. These are plugins that you can use in your browsers and desktop and all of that to support you in becoming a better writer. Love, love, love those. Also love things like the predictive text inside of the Gmail, and even Outlook has it where it like can kind of guess what you're about to say. I love predictive text and like shortcuts inside of my iPhone. Like something that people often ask me for is, can I have a link to your calendar, book an appointment? Absolutely. I press like 3 different things on my phone, and it knows that I'm about to, that I want to type out my link to my calendar, which is pretty long. So it makes it very easy. So there's all sorts of like other little subtle tools, even like the thing, I can't say her name, right? One time I used her to help me form a new evening routine. They have this thing called routines, and mine was like programmed to go anywhere from taking some deep breaths to putting on my aromatherapy to brushing my teeth and flossing. I mean, like, it was pretty cool. And then it took me through a round. I programmed it to take me through a round of 3 different stretches before I went to bed. And then it told me good night. And then it told me something really like sweet and nice. It rotated through this bank of like, good night, lovely. Have sweet dreams, beautiful. Like all this stuff. So whether you're using the main frame, like the main, like kind of like star of the show right now, ChatGPT, or even some of the less common or maybe less talked about tools, like, again, I just cannot encourage you enough. Befriend AI. Make it your ally. How can you use it to be more effective in life? Like in your relationships, as a parent, as a significant other, as a friend, or as a person who wants to learn and grow and expand. Like, it's all available to you. You don't have to be afraid of it. And if those voices out there that are sending that message are really getting to you, like, turn them off. They don't need to win. They don't have to take over your mind. There's a lot of goodness available. And remember, like, what you focus on expands. All right, until next time, I'll see you.